Let's jump into it. Number 1. Sleeping through the cold. When temperatures drop, your body naturally wants to sleep. It feels like conserving energy, and in some ways, it is. But in freezing conditions, sleep can kill. Hypothermia doesn't just make you cold, it makes you drowsy and confused. Your brain tricks you into thinking a nap will help, but in reality, every second you snooze in the cold is another step toward unconsciousness, and possibly even death. Instead of curling up and giving in to sleep, keep moving, or at least keep your body insulated. Use leaves, clothing, or anything you can find to create a barrier from the cold ground. Find shelter if possible, even if it's just a small windbreak. Staying awake, alert, and aware is far more important than resting in a freezing environment. Your instinct to sleep is strong, but in extreme cold, awareness is your survival lifeline. Number 2. Following the crowd during emergencies. When chaos hits, whether it's a fire, earthquake, stampede, or even an active shooter, the first thing most people do is follow everyone else. It makes sense on some level. If dozens of people are running somewhere, your brain thinks, they must know what's up. I should go too. But here's the problem. Following the crowd blindly can get you crushed, trampled, or trapped. Panic spreads faster than fire, and rational thinking often disappears. Hallways get jammed, doors clog up, and exits become deadly choke points. It's a classic case of safety in numbers turning against you. The smarter move? Pause for a second or two to actually look around. Check for exits that aren't crowded, watch what the environment is doing, and make your own call. Often, the safest route is the one nobody else is taking. It goes against instinct, but in survival situations, thinking for yourself triumphs over following the herd. Number 3. Swimming against a rip current. Rip currents at the beach are a sneaky killer. You're pulled away from shore, your adrenaline spikes, and your first thought is to swim harder back to safety. That's an extremely bad idea. Rip currents are faster than even the strongest swimmers, and panicking only tires you out faster. Instead, don't fight it. Swim parallel to the shore until you're out of the current, then angle back to land. If that fails, float and signal for help. Staying calm beats raw strength every time, and knowledge beats instinct. Many drowning deaths happen because people trust their fight-or-flight reactions instead of science. Try to keep this in mind next time you hit the water. Number 4. Ignoring weather warnings. One of the deadliest survival mistakes is ignoring the weather. It's easy to underestimate the elements when the sky looks calm or you've gotten lucky before. Your instinct might say, it's just a little rain, or the wind isn't that strong. But weather can turn lethal in minutes. Sudden storms, flash floods, lightning, or extreme heat and cold can escalate faster than you expect, and being unprepared often leaves no room for error. People make this mistake because they rely on gut feeling rather than actual information. They think, I can handle it, or I'll just push through, assuming nature will bend to their will. But the environment doesn't negotiate. A dry riverbed can become a deadly torrent during a flash flood. A sunny trail can quickly turn into a heat-stroke nightmare. Even experienced hikers and campers fall victim because they underestimate the power of the weather. Survival experts stress always checking conditions before heading out and carrying a plan for sudden changes. Bring shelter, warm clothing, and a way to stay dry. Watch for early warning signs like sudden cloud buildup, wind shifts, or dropping temperatures. If the weather starts turning, adjust immediately and don't wait for panic to hit. Number 5. Eating anything that looks safe. It's true that hunger can make you desperate. You see a berry, mushroom, or leaf, and instinct screams, eat it. But the problem is, many wild foods are toxic. Just a few bites of the wrong mushroom or plant can trigger seizures, organ failure, or death. Birds and deer might eat them safely, but humans? Not so much. Survival pros recommend extreme caution. Only eat what you know is safe. If you have a guide or know the universal edibility test, follow it step by step next time you go camping in the wilds. Otherwise, avoid unfamiliar plants entirely. Number 6. Trying to fight dangerous animals. If you've ever been startled by a wild animal, your gut probably screams a loud fight signal. Maybe you wave your arms, yell, or throw something. Our brains are wired to defend ourselves aggressively when threatened. But here's the kicker. Most wild animals are way stronger, faster, and more prepared for a fight than humans. Bears, mountain lions, wolves, they're built to win that fight. Getting aggressive usually just escalates the situation. Survival pros don't rely on raw courage. They rely on knowledge. For example, when you encounter a grizzly bear, you need to avoid eye contact, talk softly, and back away slowly. Or let's say you come face to face with a mountain lion, it's best if you make yourself look bigger by waving your arms and holding your ground, with the hopes that it backs off. But for the most part, the safest tip is to avoid them entirely. Thinking you could win a one-on-one with a wild animal is the starting recipe for disaster. With wild animals, it's all about species-specific responses. Instinct wants you to fight or flee blindly, but staying alive is about being smart, not brave. Number 7. Drinking water from any natural source. We all know that dehydration feels urgent. When your mouth is dry, your lips are cracked, and every instinct is screaming for water. But unfortunately, it's not always a good thing to fulfill that thirst with the next available water source. Not every stream, pond, or puddle is safe. Clear water can still be loaded with bacteria and parasites that can ruin your day, or worse, your life. Think about organisms like Giardia, E. coli, or Cryptosporidium, and a bunch of others from your boring biology classes. A sip from the wrong source can leave you vomiting, dehydrated, and closer to death than before. The solution is simple. Purify your water. Boil it for at least a minute, use a filter, or grab some purification tablets. It takes a little time, but that delay beats getting sick or dying from contaminated water. Instinct tells you to drink first, think later. Reality says a moment of patience can save your life. Number 8. Walking towards civilization without a plan. If you're lost in the wilderness, your first instinct might be to keep moving until you find help. Motion feels like progress. But here's the harsh truth. Wandering without a plan is one of the fastest ways to make things worse. People end up exhausted, dehydrated, or even further away from safety. Rescue teams can't find you if you're constantly moving. Survival experts use a simple acronym called STOP, which stands for stop, think, observe, plan. In such a situation, you want to take a breath and avoid panicking. Then the next step is to assess your situation. Ask yourself, what are the things you know about where you are? When you have answered these questions, look for landmarks, natural signs, or shelter. After that, you can finally decide whether moving is smart, and if so, leave markers so rescuers can track you. Sometimes, staying put is the best move. Instinct tells you motion equals survival, but patience often wins. Number 9. Ignoring small injuries. Pain is your body's way of sending a warning, but instinct often tricks people into ignoring it. That small cut, twisted ankle, or minor burn might feel like no big deal at the moment, and your mind might insist you can just push through it. In everyday life, this sometimes works, but in survival situations, downplaying injuries can quickly turn small problems into life-threatening ones. Even minor wounds can become infected, and untreated sprains or cuts can limit mobility, drain energy, or make you more vulnerable to other dangers. Blood loss, infections, and reduced movement are often the hidden killers that turn otherwise manageable situations into serious emergencies. Survival experts emphasize treating injuries immediately. Clean cuts, bandage wounds, immobilize sprains, and watch carefully for signs of infection. Taking these small steps keeps you on your feet, preserves your strength, and ensures you can make smart, clear-headed decisions. In survival, caution always beats pride, and acting early can save your life. We'll leave it there for today. More of this coming soon, so do consider subscribing.